Good morning. Welcome to Home Sweet Gardens. My name is Amy. I am in Northwest Missouri, growing zone 6A. Today is the 14th week of the garden tour. There's been a lot of changes, some empty spaces, some things starting to come in, some things that have just planted. This is going to be my first year ever of doing a true fall garden, so it should get interesting. I don't think I have as much organization as I possibly could have had. It seems like in the spring I tend to plan it out, draw it out, figure out what I'm going to put where, how long, whatnot. And it seems like I don't know, for whatever reason, I'm kind of lost. I think part of it's because I've never done it before. So, stay tuned and you'll get to see and hopefully learn from some of my mistakes. So we're going to go through and start here in a second. I wanted to show you a couple of things and then tell you about my harrowing attack. A little exaggerated, yes, but still, I'll talk to you and show you the bee's nest. So, okay, so here's my compost pile, and right here, over there, you can see all those boxes and stuff that are in the middle of the grass. They were all stacked over here. So I was mowing, push mowing, came around and I hit a couple of them that were stacked up together, and this is what was in those boxes. You know what that is? Yes. And that is a honeycomb. And those are ground bees. So they came out. One stung me. I didn't know what it was. Smacked my leg. Then I kept going. And the next one hit me. Smacked really hard. I looked down and saw there was a stinger sticking out of my leg. So I go running and ran right out of my shoes. Stopped, pulled the stinger out of my leg after I had taken my gardening gloves off, of course, and then went inside the house and hid. Yeah, those are babies. So my husband came out and helped to dispatch of the ground bees. They had made a hole. Look at that. That's where the cone was. So these two boxes were nested on top of each other, opened just right to where they had a perfect little hole to get in. See the grass right there. Kind of ingenious. But anyway, so I haven't been able to finish my mowing over and weeding in this corner. And I haven't been able to get the boxes picked up or anything because I've been waiting for them to kind of go away. We did find the queen. And like I said, I didn't want to kill them if I didn't have to. But at this point, I really didn't have a choice because they were becoming quite aggressive. So here's my little tubs of goodies. My climbing rose is doing really well. I've got some buds there and starting to climb up the trellis a little bit here. My corn is getting taller. Definitely glad I do not have to make a living on corn because we would all starve. There's one thing I've never been very good at growing. You wouldn't think it would be difficult, but for me it is apparently. My mammoth sunflowers. My roselle reds. The elephant ears, they don't look very happy, but they're there. And look at that. There's another climbing rose. I love this flower though. It is so pretty. These here, my wildflowers. If anybody knows what these are, would you please let me know in the comments, because I really like them and I'd like to get more. This is that mix. So I've got one cucumber starting here. And then I have two on the other side. These are straight eights that I planted to try and get another crop before the end of the season. We'll see. Hopefully there'll be enough time. It doesn't get too cold. My pears. We are going to be picking them this morning. I've got to get them off of they're starting to ripen. The ones I did pick a couple days ago, they are starting to ripen, so I'm going to have a lot of pears too, because just one little batch, just this branch right here, gave me enough pears to fill a whole shelf in my back room. So yeah, I'm gonna have a lot of pears to do. So I'm gonna do some pear butter, probably some spiced pears, jar some of them, maybe just some plain, sliced pears, maybe cube some up, I don't know. I'll have to look at some different recipes. If you know of any recipes, again, let me know, that'd be awesome. So I've got my alums here. I've got 3, the 2, the bulb kind, and then this one in the middle. And sorry, I don't remember what kind they are. God, that bird is just obnoxious. Can you be quiet? I just ordered some Allium giganteus. I'm super excited. They basically look a lot like this, but just massive. The heads on them are like 10 inches around, globes. So I'm so excited. I've been wanting to plant them every year, and every year I forget to get them because you have to plant them in the fall. And so I don't think about them until spring. So I'm really excited that I remembered this year. I've gone through and started weeding some of my strawberry patches. This one looks like there's trails through it. And that's because my dog has decided that there's a mouse somewhere in here, and so she has dug. So I've had to get onto her for that. My sunflowers that I planted in my garden bed, they're not quite ready yet. But I wanted to show you something kind of crazy. I didn't know this ever happened. I don't have a lot of experience with sunflowers, but this one finished, so I cut it off. Well, it's got a brand new head on it. Let's see if I can get this thing to turn. Other way. There we go. Right there. Isn't that something? That is crazy. I did not know that they would do that. That's pretty neat. My carrot seeds. My husband was like, "That's a carrot," and my son goes, "Those are, why do you got weeds growing?" I said, "They're not weeds." I said, "These are carrots." They go, so my son says, "So you mean all those weeds out there in the field are carrots?" I said, "Well, a carrot family, I suppose." Here's my dragon tongue beans that I planted a couple weeks ago. They're supposed to be more like a bush, but they're acting kind of like a vine. So we'll see. I may end up having to stake them up. They're just getting to the point to where they're getting ready to put on some flower heads. So that's pretty exciting. I got a volunteer tomato. I do not like tomatoes, but I had planted some of these. They're called Brad's Atomic Grape tomatoes. And I never even ate one of them. I just planted them because they looked cool, but I really do not like tomatoes. They stink. I don't even like the plants. But I left it there just because I didn't have anything else to put there at the time. It does have a couple little yellow blooms on it. So we'll see. I can give those away too. Alright, my purple queen bush beans are pretty close getting to the end of their cycle. They're still putting off beans, but it's intermittent, few, far between. They're small, funny shaped, and the plants are starting to die. That's okay because I have replanted them. Here's something really strange. This is my asparagus bed, okay? It's just a massive god awfulness, but it is still producing asparagus. I didn't know that it would do this. I thought that they would stop after spring. And so then they just keep growing and keep growing. Now the green ones, the regular Jersey ones, they're not. These purple ones are. So strange. So I haven't been cutting them because remember, this is only the second year. So you're not really supposed to cut and harvest them the first couple, 2-3 years. This one is a bed I've had for a long time, but it just never did much. And I thought it was dead for sure, and then all of a sudden here came one. So maybe it's has a renewed vigor. My roses, as you can see down the line, are doing absolutely gorgeous. It's time for me to pick some more again. The roses in my kitchen are dying, so I'll come out and snip some of them. I want to get some more. I've got 3, so I want to get 2 more. And I've been looking at some different kinds, so pretty excited. I love roses. I didn't used to. Didn't want to have anything to do with them. And I thought, well, I'll get this rose bush. It's, you know, it's almost dead at Walmart. If it dies, it dies. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And now I'm hooked. So my grapes are starting to turn. They're starting to ripen. I'm very excited. I have basically just been eating them off the vine because if I wait for all of it to ripen, I'm not going to get any. So I basically am just snacking on grapes as I come down here. And they are so sweet, so tender. There is nothing like homegrown produce. Store-bought just can't ever beat it. It's insane. My Brussels sprouts are starting to put on some little heads on there. And they grow from the bottom up, or mature, I should say, from the bottom up. So the bottom ones are going to be larger, and then they get smaller as they go up. They're doing well. My zucchini that I plant, I just knocked a brick off of my planter. My zucchini is getting pretty big. It's only been in the ground a few days, so it's pretty exciting. Okay, as you'll notice, there's a lot of stuff missing here. I took all the cucumbers out. I didn't like the pickling cucumbers anyway, so I ripped all of them out and put more noodle beans, both here and on the other side. I just did that yesterday or the day before, so it's going to be a few days before we see anything there. The artichoke is gone. It had gotten infested with bugs, and it's been really, really wet, and it just did not do well, so it's gone. My banana peppers are finally starting to put on some peppers. I didn't think they were going to do anything for the longest time, but there's one little baby one right there. This volunteer, whatever it is, there's still no fruits, so to speak. There's lots of flowers, but no fruits. So, still waiting to see what it is. I don't know. It looks like a cucumber to me. But cucumber, squash, zucchini, zucchini not really, but cucumber and squash, they all have the same type of leaf pattern. They all look very similar to me, so it's really hard to tell what it could be. I planted some, Purple Queen. More Purple Queen bush beans here in this spot. So by the time those other ones are dead, these ones will just start coming up. I probably should have planted them a couple weeks ago, but yeah, I guess better late than never. And you can see a little white strip around the edge of my trellis here. That is actually lights, solar lights. I'm so excited. My husband had bought me a couple of them, and I never put them up. So he helped me get them on there, and last night I came down, and it was all lit up, and it was so beautiful. I've got one more set, so I don't know if I'm going to put it on the back side of the same trellis, or if I'm going to put it like on the back side of the other trellis. I'm not sure yet. I haven't decided. But my butternut squash is doing very well. I've got 2 more coming up. 2 that I planted, which one is there and the other one is there. They're traditional Walthams, whereas these are the Italian Viola, I think is what it's called. And they're massive. And if you look, if I can get it to lift up here a little bit, you can see the scar mark. Because this fruit, I would venture to say, is somewhere around 5 pounds, maybe more. I mean, it's insane. So, but the other ones are the traditional Walthams. All right, bell peppers. Actually, they're not bell. They're the Cubanelles. But they're, oh, that's a funky shaped little one, isn't it? Here. That one's almost ready. Probably tonight, I'd say, or maybe tomorrow morning. I want to top these, but there's still peppers growing all over them because they're getting awful tall, and I'd rather them bush out a little bit. But my I just got hit in the head by something. I realized it's a wandering vine. My okra is just huge. It's getting so tall and big. Getting off quite a bit of okra now. The flowers are just gorgeous. Look at that. They're just so pretty. My Asian long beans are starting to look really pretty. They're starting to hang down quite nicely. Again, I'm picking them early because I like them young. I don't like them tender. You know, they get longer and tougher, and I don't, almost spongy, and I don't care for it. So I've been harvesting them when they're about this size. But you know, the garden's all about what, you know, you pick them when you want to pick them. That's why it's your garden. It's the coolest part about it. My eggplant, this is the Oswald. It is finally starting to set bulbs and whatnot on it, so I'll be getting some eggplant here pretty soon. Looks like, by the way they're setting on there, that I'm going to be overrun with eggplant, so that's okay though. I did plant some kohlrabi seeds through here. You can see there's a few coming up right here. I planted all this in here, and then it rained for 2 days. Because that's, you know, how it works. That's always the way it works. So it'll be interesting to see when they come up if the seeds stayed where I put them, or if I'm going to have like 50 in one spot and none in another spot. We'll see. Here's another one of those volunteer plants from my compost pile. So it's either a squash, zucchini, or a cucumber. And I've got a zucchini down there that's growing. So several volunteer plants. This is the first year I've ever really had that happen. That's kind of interesting. And then we're growing the elusive kitty kitty, huh? I spent yesterday and completely cleaned all the weeds out of my garden patio, and I weeded behind it all the way to the grass out there. It was full of weeds. It was so many weeds, it was obnoxious. But I got this all cleaned out, and it looks wonderful. So I'm going to leave you here with this picture perfect view. Minus the garden cart over here. Don't pay attention to that. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe to my channel. If you're new, welcome. Love to have you. If you're returning, thanks for coming back. I do a garden tour once a week, and I put other miscellaneous videos on here and there. If there's a topic that you would like to have me cover, just put it in the comments. If I don't know the answer or don't know how to do it, I'll find a video that would and link it to you. There's a lot of amazing YouTube gardening channels out there that you can, it just has a wealth of knowledge. And I'll link a few of my favorites. I've got Roots and Refuge is one of my favorite. Haas Tools is really good. Green Acre, there's a few. So I'll put a link to those YouTube channels in my description. Stay safe, stay healthy, and happy gardening.